He led a worldwide church, but the influence and ministry of President Russell M. Nelson, it was individual and personal as well. Author Connie Sokol, she has been reflecting on some of his legacy lessons, really the standout messages that he will be remembered for. And it is personal because as we've been kind of going over some of his inspired messages and talks, it means something different to everybody.
Absolutely, and that's what I've been hearing from him. Oh, when he talked, I felt like he was speaking right to me. And you feel that with his crafted messages. They were just so, we talked about this precision of being able to mine whatever you needed out of it for your particular situation. One of the things that really struck me, I mean, we have several themes that we want to talk about, but one of the #1 things was joy.
We can't talk about President Nelson without talking about joy, and you see it in his eyes. You do.
His expression.
Probably the most quoted, I would say, remark from that topic set of joy has to be this: the joy we feel has little to do with the circumstances of our lives and everything to do with the focus of our lives. That was in a more recent talk, but I hear women reference this all the time.
Absolutely, and I think that's what's so beautiful about him is that he lived that way. He had a natural cheerfulness, and you knew he was so highly intelligent, but he was also intuitively wise. He could see the local, the global, all of the things happening, and yet he could be intentional about focusing on the good and how we could respond to it in that way, which I think is just such a gift.
Yeah, and listening to his family talk about, you know, when he was at home, he was 100% at home, focusing on the joy with his kids, changing diapers, you know, doing it all.
Doing it all, and in the moment, and that presence, being present. I've learned so much from him, and he knew, another quote he gave was, joy is a principle that will only become more important as the travesties and tragedies around us increase. And is that not timely? And I've noticed, just by trying to practice things that he talked about, this last month it's been hard, but I felt the heaviness, but I've also felt this hastening and a healing because of a practice of like practicing it and making it more of your lifestyle and your mindset. And then that's made me more able, hopefully, to be able to turn around and help other people get to that place of comfort and soothing too, which I think is what he does.
He gave a landmark talk, and I want to say it was 2015, called A Plea for My Sisters. And this seemed to start sort of a content course, if you will, toward this empowerment of women in the church and out of the church. One of the things he said is, quote, "The Lord has more in mind for you than you have in mind for yourself, exclamation point. You have been reserved and preserved for this time and place. The Lord needs you to change the world. As you accept and follow his will for you, you will find yourself accomplishing the impossible." Speak to that, Connie. Just his anthem, his messaging toward women was so empowering.
He loved and respected women, and I feel like he expanded our identity, our purpose, and then said, you got the tools, and then he sharpened them for us, and then said, let's build, let's go, you can do this. And I felt it. I remember when he gave that talk, and I was in the kitchen, and I was doing something with rolls on the counter, and it's the step down in the family room watching, and as soon as he started talking, it was like a magnet drawing me, and I literally almost stood in front of the screen, talking right to me that we're talking about. It shifted me. It expanded my view of who I am, what I could do, and what I could become, and that led to me helping women learn how to speak, and now to help young adults learn how to speak with confidence, and opened so many doors. I can't imagine what it did for everybody else, but he knew we had influence, and he validated that.
And to think of the female influence that helped shape him, right? Of a different generation, but a girl dad, right? 9 times over, and was able to lead that way. And there's a cute excerpt from his book where he talks about, I think being a mother is the greatest job, but I didn't have that option, so I became a doctor. You know, he just had such a revere and a respect for women's roles.
Absolutely. And again, gave us that permission to like step into that, step up. He said at the end of that talk, he said, take your rightful place, and I plead with you to do it in your home, in the community, at your work, at church, and be that influence, because we need it. So empowering.
Oh, absolutely. And then another quote that we wanted to talk about today and get your thoughts on is, contention is a choice. Peacemaking is a choice. You have your agency to choose contention or reconciliation. I urge you to choose to be a peacemaker now and always.
Oh, so good. I think one of the biggest threads that runs through the condolences is he was such a gentle man. Now, he was firm and he was persevering, but you never felt from his words that he was agenda-driven. It was always care and love and loving kindness, which was one of his favorite words. I remember meeting him back in college. I was coming down the stairs in the Marriott Center. I was hurrying like always, and I came around that banister and bam, right into him. He was then Elder Nelson. And I remember looking up, and he just looked down at me with this sweetest smile, no annoyance, no frustration, just loving kindness. And I feel like that interaction, you know, he was working with high profile, high intensely difficult situations, and just always that feeling of, we can fix this, we can work with this, we can do this.
Connie, thank you for your lens and sharing your love of this great man as we all share these memories and remembrances together.
Thanks for the opportunity.